Today we're installing the welded freewheel from Belts and Shit, BS. I've actually purchased 3 of these. So there's the 2, and the third one is actually on the RSF 650 wheel. So I'm gonna put this one on this wheel here. I'm gonna do a video of taking the old freewheel off. Oh, there's the old freewheel. Taking off that one. This one is used, so it's gonna be a little harder to get off. This one's also, I did weld this one at one point before. You see my tack welds there. Didn't really hold up too well. Tacked it all 4 spots. Didn't hold up. Held up like a week or 2, not even. Wheelies. We are gonna put the 63 tooth solid sprocket on this one. That has a split sprocket. This bike, I'm gonna put a street tire on it. So it's like a street setup for my other SX 500 that has dirt wheels. And that is what the other one of these is for, the dirt wheel setup. And this one's gonna be a street wheel setup for that bike. All right, let's get to this. You will need an impact driver, big guy, not the little inch one, a pound. It's like a 350 foot-pound Craftsman, nothing crazy. You do need some power though for it. What I like to do is use an old axle bolt, or use the axle bolt. I use a spacer washer on the end, axle spacer, sorry, on the end to give me more clearance. You'll see why here in a second. So what I'm gonna do, I also got this from Belts and Shit. It's a freewheel removal tool. Tack. So I got that. So that goes basically on here, grabs the freewheel and unlooses it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put the camera up here. So what I do is take the axle bolt, slide it down through, make sure it's the nut or the wash, whatever at the end is not as thin enough. It doesn't interfere with the socket going over the threads. So what I do then is I then slide this down through. Slide that down through. And that end will be sticking out. Because what I do then is take the wheel spacer, stick it on the end there, and then just hand tighten this down. It is a locking one, so it's a little bit tight to do, but you want to get it pretty tight so you have a little bit of a, the reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure this tool stays on the wheel. It don't strip off and come off. It's pretty on there, pretty good. You don't really have to, but I recommend doing something like that just to help out. And go ahead and just put this on there. Alright, so it's kind of loose, then what I'm gonna do now, go ahead and back this bolt off a little bit. You could really take it the whole way off, so I did with the RSF 650 wheel, but again, I don't really want to per se trust it not being able to it's not tight in a bolt, it's just this locking nut at the end here is really tight on there. Got it on, guys. Can't get it back off my finger strength. Once you know it. There we go. More leverage. All right. So you can take this off the entire way if you want, or just back it up a little bit so you have more adjustability. So when this backs off, it can back off with it. You don't want to be fighting yourself and having the nut too tight, trying to back this off, and it's not going to go nowhere because you have this not allowing this to slide out as the freewheel unscrews. So it's pretty well loosened now, so I can take off that nut completely and pull out this entire rod. Obviously the freewheel tool on there. I can honestly take this off hand now at this point. It's pretty well off. There are a few different freewheels. This one has a bunch of notches. My RSF's 650 wheel. I had a few more notches. About the same, I guess, honestly. There are some bikes, some razors out there that have a couple notches, like this one. We are able to remove these ones. There's a certain one, I'm not sure what model bike it is or what year or when they are, if they're still coming out with them, but it's a solid. You cannot remove them ones. Belts and Shit does list on his website the ones that are removable. The ones that are removable versus the ones that aren't removable. So this is his. So what we're gonna do now, you leave this locking ring on there. Clip ring. Right tighty, lefty loosey, just like coming off. So put it on, throw it on real smooth. I like to give it a little bit of impact to get the threads down because it's not seated the whole way back here. So I like to try to seat it pretty well without, you know, overdoing it. This box is kind of screwing me. Check it out every now and again, make sure it's good. Actually, it's seated perfectly down there. I watched one video say where it'll tighten up if you just hand tighten it, it'll tighten the rest of the way as you ride. But I prefer to just tighten it this way. That way I know my chain is going to be in alignment, honestly, because it pulls in as you ride. It could throw your chain off that little bit of a distance. So I tighten it up. Again, that's not going nowhere. This lines up perfectly in the notches. Using the back silver ring adapter. Still leave that on there. There's not too many instructions with this. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use the ring. Leave the ring. I think it's good for a secure piece there. So I'm gonna take this sprocket from Econic Cycles. It's an economy sprocket, 63 tooth. My bike has a 64 tooth split sprocket, so if I throw this on with a street tire, one tooth difference in the rear, I don't think is gonna make much of a difference. And it should still fit the same chain length, especially with the adjustable axle sliders, because I have the extensions on that bike as well. So put these bolts down through here. And these bolts did come with the Belts and Shit freewheel. These bolts, nuts, and washers. Take that box out the way. I'll set this up on my end. Set this up on end. Get them all started on there. Grab another washer, so I don't know where the one went. Probably didn't even get it out, honestly. Again, I got 3 of these, so I have, you know, 12 washers, 12 nuts, 12 bolts. They all come with the belts and shit. Freewheel. Kind of do like a car, skip every other one, go around like a star. It evenly distributes. Alright, make sure you go back around, crank them all tight. That is if you're putting a sprocket on again. If you're just doing the freewheel for now, you're already done. Don't slip. Sprocket will eat your hand. Alright. There's a welded freewheel, stock Razor wheel, Razor SX 500 wheel with a 63 tooth sprocket, 35 chain. These are all 35 chains. Well, that's what these ones are. 35 chain. Curb Hopper Customs, split sprocket adapter. Amazon split sprocket, 64 tooth. Get on the newer build. Alright, that's how you put a freewheel on. Joke, you don't need this. This is just because I can't untighten my bolt. But there's all things you would need. 10 millimeter, 5 millimeter. This is a 24 millimeter. And you definitely need this. This helps hold this down.